You're listening to Closing Market Weekly, the show where real estate closings meet real world insight. With your host, Phillip Hogan. And every week we break down the trends, tools, and the timing that keeps deals moving forward. Let's dive in. Hi, my name is Phillip Hogan, and welcome to another episode of Closing Market Weekly, where the show brings in real estate professionals to talk about the work that they do within the real estate industry. And man, do I have a lineup of some stars for you to listen to today. But before I bring on my guests, let me go ahead and introduce you to their bio. Jeffrey Hunter and Ashley Hunter lead the Hunters Group with a shared passion for transformation and a commitment to results. Jeffrey brings a sharp eye for opportunity and deep expertise in property acquisition, investment strategy, and project management. His ability to identify value where others seek risk has been instrumental to the firm's success. Ashley complements this strength through their leadership in operations, design strategy, and client relations, ensuring that every property performs financially and stands out in quality and presentation. Together, they represent the perfect balance of business insight and creative vision, forming the driving force behind the Hunters Group. The Hunters Group growth and reputation, founded on September 21st, 2020 by Jeffrey Hunter and Ashley Hunter, the Hunters Group is a results-driven real estate investment firm built on passion, precision, and purpose. Within its first year, the company successfully acquired 5 properties, marking the beginning of a strong track record in transforming underperforming assets into profitable, high value investments. The Hunters Group specializes in fix and flip projects, property wholesaling, and short term rental management, Airbnb. Focus on revitalizing communities and building generational wealth through smart, strategic real estate solutions. Jeffrey and Ashley, welcome to the show.
Hey
Welcome.
Phil, thank you.
Thank you for having us,
Thank you for
Phil.
having us.
Thank you for the introduction too.
Yeah, hey, listen, you guys earned it, right? So listen, audience, listen, we have Jeffrey and Ashley Hunter here, and they are a beautiful couple. And Jeffrey, generally, the wives are the ones who take the lead in some things like this. And you seem like you're the person who's taking the lead, and you have a wife who's very supportive. So why don't you lead us off by sharing with us, how did you guys first meet?
Okay, so we met on a dating app. I
Which
was
one?
so we met on Hinge.
Hinge, Hinge.
Yes, Hinge. So we met on
Okay, we're
Hinge.
gonna give a plug. We're gonna give a plug for Hinge because it
Yeah,
seems
get a
like it
plug,
works, right?
right? So
Go
at
ahead.
the time I was living in Atlanta and she was living in Alabama. Okay,
Uh
so
huh.
during that time I had 2 jobs. I was doing security at night and I was installer for Home Depot where I would go and install appliances and stuff. So we end up meeting. Fast forward, we start talking on the app or whatnot. And one weekend she wanted to come up so we can have our first like face to face, meet and date.
Okay.
Um, so that was supposed to happen around like 5 or 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
He drives up to Atlanta. I'm still working because that job we couldn't finish until we were done.
Uh huh.
He waits around a couple of hours, 3, 4 hours go by. She still was just so patient.
What you mean? Ash, you waited that long for Jeffrey? Jeffrey, man, you must have been talking about some good stuff, man.
I was actually getting a facial and pampering myself while I wait.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
So when I finally make it off my job, she's kind of like close by where I live at. She's like,
Uh
"Well, I'm
huh.
gonna just come by this restaurant and wait for you." So she meets me in my house, and we're talking. But I'm actually getting ready for my second job because I'm actually late.
Ah.
So we were supposed to chill for 3 hours, and I go to my second job, but I didn't have much time. So after that 30 minutes or 40 minutes, we say, "Okay, nice to meet you." We hug. She drives back to Alabama. I go work, and then we end up continuing to talk every single day from that
Okay.
point and continue to date. And that was the start of our relationship. Well, not the
Okay.
official relationship, but that was the start of like, hey, okay, the first meet and greet and the start of our,
Us building something.
yeah.
Uh huh. And so, Ashley, so during the earlier days of your courtship, was there any conversation about investing in real estate or building some type of real estate investment company?
Actually, no. We talked about a trucking business.
Mm.
we were going to go into trucking, and we applied for the loan. We got approved for $100,000. Our credit score was great. We were at the very end of closing the deal with the trucking, and Jeff was like, listen, I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to really do this. And it was some tension for a little bit, and then we figured out, hey, maybe we don't want you on the road like that. And so we decided not to do it. And from there, we continued to date, and we're both business minded, and we were discussing other ideas that we can do. And it just so happened that before Jeff and I got together, he was trying to do fix and flip. He was trying to get into wholesaling. Yeah, he was trying to get into real estate. He had purchased the program and was studying the course. And I also, before I met him, was doing the exact same thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, so time out. So you wanted to first go into, you guys had agreed to go into the trucking industry. You got the loan for 100 grand. You was ready to purchase the truck. And Jeff, you would have been the driver?
Yeah. So I would have been owner operator.
You'd been an owner operator, right? And so now you guys, okay, so you guys are ready to roll. I mean, literally, you know, you were ready to get on the road and start moving some freight, right? And at the last minute, right, at the final hour before you pulled the plug, you said, yo, you know what? I don't think I'm ready to do this. What a brilliant move. You know, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, startup entrepreneurs that are may have those feelings, but say, you know what, we're going to go with it. We come this far, let's go with it anyway. And you didn't. And so now, so we pivot, right? And in life, sometimes you have to pivot, right? And so you pivoted from the trucking industry into the real estate industry. So tell us, how did you pivot into the real estate industry, and what was your introduction, or what was your introductory move into the real estate industry?
Okay, that's a good question. So after that situation happened, we didn't do anything for a little second, because we were, when we met, we figured out that we both tried to get into real estate. So I was like, oh, you bought this course, I bought this course. I was looking at her course, she was looking at my course, but we could never tap into the best way to do the marketing, because it's all about marketing, you know, especially selling. So a year go by, we end up getting engaged or whatnot. And then the next month after we got engaged, I ended up getting laid off my job. Yeah. So real estate wasn't even something like the Hunters group was formed for real estate before I met her, right? And said, this is going to be my business. When I get into real estate, this is what I'm going to do. I tried to get into wholesaling. I paused it. I got laid off. And then I came to her and I said, she said, what are you going to do? And I said, man, we need to get into real estate. I think this is God's calling. So I ended up calling her brother. He's into real estate. And I set up a meeting with him. We had a meeting in like the next week. And he kind of told us, hey, let's start here, you know.
So time out. So, okay, so we pivot from the trucking industry into the real estate lane. And while you're on the real estate lane, you get laid off, right? And then I'm sorry?
I get laid off before I even get into the real estate.
Okay, but you're heading in that direction.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're heading in the real estate direction, and you get laid off, and then you say, well, instead of looking for another job, why not do the real estate thing? And then you said your brother or brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Who was it?
It was my brother, my stepbrother. So his
okay, brother. So your soon-to-be brother-in-law said, hey, listen, there's an opportunity in the real estate realm, and let's go for it. And you go for it.
And then I go for it. He said do these steps, and I start.
And so you started. So your first project was what?
So the first project was just like building a team of vendors, contractors, and wholesalers and other investors. So I started networking.
So hold on. Let's slow down, because I want the audience to really hear what you're saying here, because this is critical. You built a team, and the team consisted of who again, please?
So the team consisted of a lender,
yes,
a contracting crew,
yes,
and a wholesaler. someone
Very
that can
good.
make those deals.
Okay, good. So, in other words, audience, Jeffrey didn't go into this thing and expect to do it all. He went into it understanding that I need players, I need team members to assist me in building out my project, and thus you can. So, why did you know? What was it about those three positions that you decided that was what you needed first? Obviously, you need a lender, right? But why
Mhm.
the other two?
That's a good question, because when I broke down, before I ever get into, had another business some years ago, a cleaning company, and I always break down like, what do I need to be successful first?
Mm-hmm.
So I made that list and I said, let me capture these three things first.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll be the team that I need to complete the project. What team do I need to complete the project? And that was my first job when I got into real estate.
Very
Before
good.
anything, you know.
Yeah. And so then Jeffrey, so share with the audience, if you could please just go through what was some of the criteria that you used to determine that the individuals that you finally selected were selected.
That's a real good question. So what I did, I called 3 lenders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I networked with at least 3 wholesalers,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I got bids from at least 3 contractors. So
Ah,
that was our number, 3. Our number was 3,
okay.
because now I can, since I'm new in the business, and for people that are new in the business, it's always good to get other professionals' ideas to make sure that you're getting fair treatment, you're getting a fair deal, because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you're leveraging. Okay, well, this person charged me 20,000 for labor, but this person charged me 50,000 for labor for the same thing, so something's off here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that was the instructions that her brother had told me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that was very helpful. So I ended up calling the lender and I said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, into real estate, these are some potential deals that me and my wife are looking at.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to acquire this deal, what would the numbers look like? Before I even
Mm-hmm.
put it in the contract, I called
Mm-hmm.
them and I started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Once I
So
got
you
into
had it. So I'm hearing also your brother was sort of like your brother-in-law was sort of like your mentor.
yes.
Very good. Okay, good. So first we had a mentor, and then from that you got some guidance as to how to build your team, and then it was just really methodically go about selecting the persons to become the ideal person to fit that role on your team. And now the truck is ready to get on the road, right?
Yep.
So you got your freight, you ready to roll. So so listen, so now that the truck is on the road with its freight, how did you select your first property?
So that was a good question. So for our very first property, we actually went with a project manager. Okay.
Okay.
Because our first project, we knew we didn't know it all.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to learn, but also be hands-on, be in the grind of it. So we
Mm-hmm.
said project manager to do it.
Okay.
So we wanted to stay under a certain criteria. We created a buy box,
What's
and
that?
the buy box is basically what are you looking for? Like, what pricing of houses are you looking for? Are you looking to stay in the hundreds of thousands, 200,000s, 300,000s, or what price do you want the house to be once it's renovated? So
Mm-hmm.
my goal was saying, after renovations, I don't want to sell a house for more than 300,000. So I needed to
Mm-hmm.
buy the 100,000s. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew what my buy box was, because I knew
Okay.
the market I was in would be better
Mm-hmm.
to sell those houses a little faster. So
So
once
you
I
call it so this term, excuse me, Jeff. So this
yeah,
term you're saying is a buy box.
hmm
Okay, so the buy box is, in other words, you're saying, not in other words, but the buy box has the maximum that you're willing to, either the maximum value that you're willing to pay for a house, or the
yeah,
maximum value on the house.
it's going to be all included. Plus, how many bedrooms the house you want? I
Okay.
want at least 3 bedrooms. I want at least 2 baths.
Mm-hmm.
I want at least built from this year up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I don't want to buy anything over 150,000. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to sell anything over 300,000. So that's my
Mm-hmm.
Bob. What I'm looking for, and I would give that to my wholesaler, and he would find
Got
those.
you. Okay, and Ashley, I see you over there nodding your head in agreement. So, what are your thoughts about this process as Jeff is moving on down the road, so to speak?
Just thinking about what he's saying, it's a lot of information we learned from the
Mm-hmm.
course that we purchased. So Jeff is brilliant in business. He's a
Mm-hmm.
numbers guy, so he
Mm-hmm.
can look at numbers and understand how much we can make, how much is worth buying, how much we're going to spend on the renovation. And so when
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about the buy box, it makes sense, especially in the area. One, understanding the area and knowing how much people in that area can afford to pay for a house.
Cool. Okay, great. So we have the team. You have your buy box. You've approached you have a particular property that you're interested in acquiring, and so where does the realtor come in place if there's a realtor involved? How does that person come into this equation?
So the realtor comes in at the end for us. We didn't deal with realtors up front at all during the buy-in process. Once the house was fully renovated, we had a
Hmm.
realtor on our team that would, act on our
help
behalf.
help us do the disposition. And since we were acquiring those houses as is properties, we didn't have to do inspections or appraisal or anything like that. We was able to just go without a realtor.
Yep, in the
So
beginning.
so then okay, that's news to me. I'm thinking that every time you acquire property, you have to have a realtor involved to do the transactions. But so how is it that, if you don't mind sharing, how is it that you were able to avoid bringing a realtor to the table in the beginning of the process? Or is it because you are the top of acquisitions you were looking to do didn't require a realtor? Can you please add that out a little bit, because I'm sure people were wondering, well, how did you be able to do that and not need a realtor in the beginning of the process?
Yeah. So that's a real good question because a lot of people ask about that. So when we buy houses as investors, we're buying them
Mm.
at, so we're not worried about a realtor coming in and say, hey, let's do these inspections, let's get it appraised or anything like that, because we're making cash offer on these houses.
Ah,
Yes.
Mhm.
So that's going to be the difference between somebody going and say, hey, I want a traditional mortgage. I want to buy this house for me and my family. We're going to live in it now. And I want to have a realtor and the lender do all these inspections and all those things. So it's a different process because we're buying as is as investors.
Mhm.
so that means that you just said that, so you're not doing any kind of inspections, and really you're not even concerned if you need a new heater, or if you need a new roof,
Yep.
or if you need any kind of air conditioning units. You don't care about that.
Yes, we are. So when we buy the house from a wholesaler, or let's say we
Yes.
acquire the house, because we do wholesaling too. So let's say we acquire the house. We'll say, okay, we're going to come in, we're going to take pictures of the home, and we're going to assess the house, what's wrong with the house. So that is how we're able to calculate what our renovation budget will be. And
Okay.
that also gives us negotiating power. So we can say, hey, we need to spend XYZ so we can offer this for the house.
Okay. So then you're really trusting, if you will, the owner of the home to share with you the answer to your question, like what's wrong with the house.
Yes.
And we're also having a contractor go by there as well.
Hmm.
Okay. So you have, okay, all right. So then your contractor comes in and does the review and appraises things. Okay, great. So you're really basing upon you're really making your decision based upon the contractor's report.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, good. Okay, fine. All right. So we've gone through the process of searching for the property. We have the contractor did his walkthrough. He realizes, okay, it's good to go, and he kind of gives you and Angela the thumbs up, Ashley the thumbs up, and then you decide to purchase the property. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, great. So now we've acquired the property, and then your team pretty much within the day or two, a week, goes in and starts to do the demo work. Yes.
Yep.
That is correct.
Hmm.
Okay. And so now I noticed that you have a beautiful Facebook page with some of the work that you have been able to complete on your projects. And you're showing some before and after photographs. So how do you have the design concept, the interior design concept for the homes that you've acquired? You've made some internal changes, dimensional changes, and a beautiful job.
Thank you.
So So what's your vision? I mean, how do you go about determining, okay, what walls to knock down, what we need to move over here? Share with us a little bit about that.
So we get a lot of our renovation ideas from HGTV,
Oh,
and
okay, great. Okay.
and also understanding what's trending for the type of houses that we're buying. People love open floor plan concepts, big islands,
Nice size bathrooms, spa like
like,
bathrooms.
yep.
You know,
Um,
Okay.
and so
hardwood floors. They're like we do LVP,
LVP, what's that?
laminate
plank, like vinyl plank floors.
Okay,
floors.
okay, okay. That's kind of material.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, great. Okay. Is this a flooring material?
yes.
Okay, great. Got you. Very good. So you're getting your inspirations from the research that Ashley, and Ashley, that must be your hand that you really
That that's my lane.
so great. So I love how we were able to naturally shift. You see you got to move with your wife, Jeff.
Right.
Right. Okay. So we shift into your lane, Ashley, which is doing the interior decorating.
Yes.
So when you acquire the property, do you do a walkthrough and sort of like, look at what are you working with, and can you fulfill the visions you have in you with this particular property?
Yes, I can always fulfill the vision.
Uh-huh.
We just closed on the prop. Well, actually, we have a property now that we're holding. We just finished the renovation. We're going to hold the project. It has a pool, and it is, we decided to go with a pool theme, beach theme type house. Uh,
Nice.
so did the renovations on that. Again, we're holding because we're going to Airbnb that house. But
Uh-huh.
then we are going to acquire a property on Friday.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I haven't seen the property yet, but it doesn't need much work. And I already know what design I want to go with. I've seen the pictures. So it should be easy. We'll be in and out. It's paint, nice bathrooms, nice kitchen. It's going to be too easy.
And when you acquire, sorry, will you sell this one? Will you turn that one into an Airbnb as well?
It's gonna
No,
be a flip.
it's going to be a flip.
It's going to be a flip. Okay, great. All right, fantastic. And Jeff and Ashley, I love how you're demonstrating your love for one another as husband and wife, but also the trust that you each have in each other and with one another, right? And so, has there been a moment in your relationship where, Jeff, your decision may have not necessarily agreed with Angela's, or Angela's has Ashley, I'm sorry, or Ashley, has there been a decision or where you said, listen, this is the direction that we really need to go with this one, and Jeff was like pushing back? Or are you guys comfortable with saying, well, okay, Ashley, you have your lane, Jeff, you have your lane, and one another respects each other's right to be on the road in that lane?
Oh, I'm loving it. I would say where we see some tension
Uh-huh.
when we're talking design. Sometimes Jeff tries to get in my lane a little bit, you know.
Ah.
And I'm like, no, babe, it's okay if we step outside of our comfort zone when we do designs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that's really where we see the most tension. Otherwise, the numbers are just the numbers, and the numbers make sense. But
She trusts me on my job
yeah.
more than I trust her on her job. And it's not that I don't trust her on her job. It's just that like I'm so involved in like the overall project because I'm like
Uh-huh.
more
You're
in the
more
budget.
hands-on
She's
than
looking at the design and
uh-huh.
she's doing reports and
Uh,
I don't know if we lost him.
uh-huh.
Oh, making sure all the money's right and all that stuff. So when she's thinking about design and she might say, "Hey, I kind of like this," I'm like, "You sure you like that? I don't see it," And
Uh-huh.
sometimes it'll be like she'll be like, "Trust me, trust me, trust me." We just did a property where we did the bathroom walls like a charcoal.
Uh-huh.
And she was initially telling me about it. I'm like, "Babe, I don't know about that." She was like, "Babe, just trust me, trust me, trust me."
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Okay." And when it got finished, I was like, I probably said it to her like 20 or 30 times, like, babe, you did your big one on this one. You really did your big one. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, this bathroom is fire. Every time we go do a walk up, like, babe, I gotta give it to you. You did your big one on the bathroom. So, it's I don't have the eye like she does. And I don't know if it's just her or just because it's a woman thing or whatnot. But typically I normally back down. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm trusting you on this.
So then what I'm hearing, and this may be Phillip, the husband, or Phillip, the host of Closing Market Weekly, but what I'm hearing is that the both of you have become comfortable in the roles that each of you were naturally selected to fulfill with your business.
Yes.
And that's beautiful. So there may be some moments where Jeff is going to become a road hog, but the loving but the loving Ashley, right, is willing to say, okay, she knows how to speak to her husband, right, to help him understand that, listen, I got this, babe. You know what I mean? And Jeff, you as the loving husband are, have realized, okay, I have to trust my wife, and I have to trust the decision she makes is the best decision for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as a result, at the end of the day, that's what's happening, right? There's
Yes.
trust. So you guys are the first couple that has been on my show, and I'm so happy to have you for many, many reasons. But the main reason that I want to really expound on right now is that it takes special couples to be in business with one another. It takes special couples to be able to realize that, well, that's not my expertise, but that's my wife's expertise, or that's not my expertise, but that's my husband's expertise, and I'm going to allow him to demonstrate his skill in their expertise, and vice versa. there
Absolutely.
there 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 are some couples that bump heads because one wants to do more than the other, or one wants to do something else that the other one isn't doing, or there may be some type of disagreements. And so at the end of the day, you all have been able to identify an area of business that you both enjoy. You've done your research, you attended the course, you implemented the ideas from the course, you secured a mentor, you built yourself a team, you began to acquire the properties, you went into the properties understanding, okay, this is what I want to do with this property, and you get it done. So let's talk a little bit about now to liquidating. How do you go about selling your properties?
Okay, so that's when our realtor comes in. So that's when the realtor comes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's help us get this on the MLS. Let's get this thing off our hands. We typically go the traditional route. Just list it with a realtor, put on the MLS, and our website.
Okay.
And usually our homes sell within, from start to finish, from buying, renovation, and selling the home, we're in and out within 90 days.
90 days from buying and renovating a home. So
That's
you're
been
holding it.
hopefully we
Sorry?
can keep that track record. Oh, that's been our average. So hopefully we can keep that track record or stay close to that track record.
That's fantastic. 90 days. That's very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the houses don't need it doesn't sound like the houses need a tremendous amount of work. Or I should say, maybe they asked the question another way. It doesn't sound like the homes have been neglected.
No. Some of them are, you'll see, you be like, hold on, this ain't the same house. This can't be.
Yeah.
Like you'll see we'll do. But it takes our contractors to be there 5 days a week, to
5 days a week.
Yes. So that's
Okay.
Also, some of the homes are, just people who are moving out, going to live with other family members, foreclosed homes. And so, like you said, the houses are not neglected. We try not to buy houses that we have to do a lot of work to.
Mm-hmm.
Bedford was
Yeah.
Bedford, and the one with the pool was
A lot of work. Yeah. But typically it's, we try to stay away from homes with foundational issues.
yes.
Homes with HVAC issues, homes that were built at year 1930 and below. So we try to shy away from those type homes.
And so, okay, that's great. So then who's responsible for selecting if you will, the particular home that you are going to acquire? Is that something on you, Jeff, or do you both look at a property and say, okay, this is the one we don't want to do, but this one around the corner, down the street, and up the block is the one we do want to do? Who's responsible? Is that a joint decision?
It's typically a joint decision. A lot of times, if I'll see in a property, I say, hey, this is it. And she'll say, the first thing she'll say is, what's the numbers on it? You know what I'm saying? So I'll say, hey, I like this property. She'll ask me, what's the numbers? And I'll do all my numbers. I say, okay, these are the numbers. This is what I can negotiate the price for to get it for us. And this is what I'm estimating the renovation to be. And this is what I'm thinking we can list it for. So once we have those numbers and it works out, plus we give ourselves a buffer. So let's say those numbers come down a little bit as far as what we can sell it for. I'm also adding that contingency, let's say it's a little less, into those numbers just in case.
Yeah.
You know.
And
when I do that, she'll look at it and then she'll say, okay, let's run it. And once I get the go ahead, I'll start negotiating.
So it sounds like it's a logical decision that you guys come to, which is if the numbers make sense, then we move forward. If they don't, we move on. Yes, Ashley, go ahead. You gonna say something, Ashley? Go ahead.
That's pretty much the bottom line. I was gonna say that as long as it's not too much work to be done and the numbers make sense, then we move forward with it.
Yeah.
But I guess. Yeah.
So has there been a property that you walked and you walked away from?
Yes.
And tell us. So we know what you like to do. We know what you've been able to do with the properties that you've acquired. But there's just one property that you have walked through and you kind of like were on the fence and then you suddenly said, no, this is just not gonna work for us. Tell us a little story about that.
I think that one would be that first one we saw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much holes in the floor, foundation issues inside the house, foundation issues outside the house,
smoke damage, flood damage.
Once we knew about the fire damage, that was automatically a red flag for us. We do not do any properties with fire damage because there's too many back end problems that can arise from it. You know, go over your renovation budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, listen. So Jeff and Ashley, you have been such a wonderful wonderful guest, and it's a delight to have you on the show because I the audience doesn't know, but I met Jeff at our barbershop, and to see the evolution of my show in your business to see where we are, it's just really encouraging and extremely wonderful and exciting. I'm excited for me, and I'm excited for you because I think our futures are very, very bright.
Yes.
And what would probably make your future a little bit brighter if people were to reach out to you and want to do business with you in some way? So what's the best way someone can contact you?
The best way someone can contact us is through our website, and that's www.thehuntersgroup. So THEHUNTERSGRP.com.
Fantastic. So www.thehuntersgroup.com is the best place to contact Jeff and Ashley Hunter if you would like to buy a property from them, look at some of their projects that they have accomplished, and find out other things that they're doing. And so, Jeff and Ashley, I just want to thank you so much for coming on to the show. It was very informative, extremely educational, and funny to have you on the Closing Market Weekly channel. And listen, folks out there in the listening audience, you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. And while you're on our YouTube channel, please subscribe, like, and comment. We'd love to hear back from you. And for the audience, until our next episode, we'll see you then. Jeff and Ashley, thank you once again, and we'll be in touch with you real soon.
Thanks for having us, Phil. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Closing Market Weekly. If you found this episode valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone in the industry. for more insights from the front lines of real estate closings. We'll see you next week.